a month and 3 weeks, and then just expects him to be out of the house, expects it to be in perfect shape, perfect condition upon her return. My client wanted me to address the flea situation and the messiness of the house. The house is not as messy as she tries to represent. And here this guy is trying to take care of these kids and take care of kittens that she initially brought in. She decided to foster a bunch of flea-ridden kittens, and she brought them in the house. The flea issue started because of her. And then she tried to blame it on him, and now she's trying to use this declaration and this court process to say that it's him. It's his fault. It's his neglect, which is not the case. She also made some serious allegations about sexual assault and then talked to my client subsequently, wherein she informed him that, well, the last time they were together, she just didn't want to. Never once did she say no. Never once did she ask him to stop. She never yelled. She never screamed. She never cried. She never called the police. She never sought a restraining order. Even now, in response to our motion, she's not even seeking any kind of protection order or restraining order against my client. She has no fear. You can't consent to something and then turn around and claim it to be an assault just because it wasn't something you wanted.
Boom. Property bombshell. Judge orders dad back into the marital home. Mom must vacate, and no temporary spousal support. Rationale? The court won't force him to bankroll a residence with a new partner inside. Also noted, it's only a 5-year marriage, which weakens her alimony case. Fair call to move Mom out now, or should the judge have preserved the status quo until trial?
So she can't come now to the court and say that my client is an abuser and that he sexually assaulted her. Not to mention the fact that it was not in the middle of a fight. It did not occur out of rage or extreme emotions. It just occurred. They're a married couple. As to requests for her spousal support, she makes no specific requests. She provides no financial documents. We have no idea what the status is of her boyfriend. And she is simply claiming that because they were married and during the marriage, she got to be the stay-at-home mom, she should continue to live that life of luxury just after it was her decision to end the marriage, and not have to support herself or equally support the children. So we are asking that our motion be granted, Your Honor.
Right. Ms. Lowe, I have also received your response. I did not receive a proposed parenting plan from you, but I have received your response to the petitioner's proposed parenting plan. What would you like the court to know?
Well, Your Honor, there's many discrepancies in the petitioner's responses. I would just like the court to know that we had a mutual agreement when I wanted to get divorced that he would move out of the house. There was abuse in the relationship. That's why I left the marital home during the time so that he could move out and it was safe. So when I returned, I have text messages showing that he knew I was at the airport. I was on my way home. He was preparing one of the vehicles for me. And originally he had said I could live in the marital home for a year. And then after I got back, everything changed. I am also 2 months pregnant, not 5 months pregnant. In regards to the sexual assault, I did cry. I did say no. I don't feel like it's necessarily appropriate for court, especially with me with no counsel, but I can't afford counsel at this time. I've done everything in my ability so far of filing TANF and filing for child support. I have thrown out many suggestions to the petitioner, such as splitting the mortgage on the marital home or him not paying the mortgage at all and me just continuing to raise the children in the marital home. I've been a stay-at-home mom since the birth of both of our children. So for those reasons, that's why I asked to stay. And that was our agreement. And he was moved out when I came back. So,
And
I'm sorry, Your Honor.
And there's another adult living in the house with you at this time?
There is. I don't receive any support through the state for my other child that lives in the home who's 10 from a previous relationship, and I don't receive any kind of support for my significant other, who I am pregnant with right now.
And is your significant other who's living in the marital house with you paying any of the expenses for the home?
No, Your Honor, but I have offered to start paying expenses in the home. I've never asked the petitioner to pay the mortgage. It was his conclusion that he was going to keep doing it. He said he didn't want the power to go out on the children. But my only request was to stay in the marital home and raise my children. I'm very flexible and everything else, but because this is a first hearing, we haven't gotten that far, and I can't afford counsel at this time. So I'm just kind of
And then
doing what I'm able to.
the period of time that you left Washington was about a month and a half. Is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
And the children stayed in the home with Mr. Lowe?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So what I'm going to do, going through the petitioner's proposed temporary parenting plan, give you my ruling, and then Ms. Petrie, if you would be so kind as to make any changes per my order. I'll open it up for questions too. Jump in if anyone has questions as I go through this. So number one, in general, I'll adopt the petitioner's proposed plan with some changes. After review of the record, while I do think there is some evidence of probably more like 3B problems on mother's part, I am going to reserve for now on 3A and B limiting factors. We'll reserve those for the final order. Decision making at this time, for school, educational, health.
Money mechanics. Because the kids get TANF benefits, the law blocks a residential credit even with 50/50th time. Translation? Dad pays guideline support to the state without the usual offset. Mom's imputed at 32 hours minimum wage. Defense says push for 40. Engagement. Should equal parenting time always trigger a credit, or should public benefits prioritize household stability over mathematical symmetry?
Adopt dispute resolution and custodian section 6 and 7 as written. The parenting time schedule I will adopt with the oral agreement that the parties have made here on the record today. That will include numbers 9 and 10 for summer schedule and holiday schedule. I don't see it directly in here, but I am going to order that Mr. Lowe remain in the marital home at this time. Do not believe it's appropriate for this court to order that Mr. Lowe pay expenses of this home while a new significant other is in the home. I also don't believe, without further investigation, that it's appropriate that the children at this time be expected to reside with a significant other that the court knows nothing about. So Mr. Lowe is to return to the home. Ms. Lowe is to vacate. Mr. Lowe will be responsible for payment of the, and I believe you had that listed in your original motion, all of the expenses related to the home. Yes, which includes the mortgage, utilities, insurance, property taxes, vehicle. All of that will be the responsibility of petitioner. As I understand it, this is a 5-year marriage. I'm not ordering